very much, everyone.
Well, thank you very much for posting stuff, and thank you very much for being a part of this humble little open mic. And that is the end of round one. And I will say, and you've got the info from him in the chat room, but this open mic, if it was going on in the store in Recycled Reads right now, it would be closed because they were, I think in past years, closed the day before Labor Day. So I wouldn't be able to be running this today if it was in the store. Just a thought. And with you guys right now, but with you guys right now, I usually try to say I want to keep it as close to 5:30 for when we go back. But I will say to everybody, I know it's been a bit over an hour, that we'll go through another round and however long that takes, and we'll leave it for that for you guys. And I think that's cool because we can do that because that's how I roll.
Or three.
What do you guys think? Do you guys want to do another round of 3? Your call. He says, whatever you feel comfortable with. Some people just did one that was long, so I mean, I know it means that we'll be here longer, but I wanted to be able to give people that option if they wanted it. So
we could do 2, Janet. We could do 2 instead of 3, and then you still get out in time, I think.
That would be fine too. So I just wanted to give you all the love you all deserve, or something. So, and then I'm going to be silly and read at the end of this round. And I'm going to read 4. No, but 2 of them are really short. Look, I did this last time with Down in the Dirt, and I'm like, all right, these are our periodic table poems, and they're Twitter lengths, and so some of them are short. So I'm going to get away with doing 4, and they are in the Down in the Dirt book, which, like usual titles, are named after an accepted piece of writing within the book. This one is titled Roman Remains. Roman Remains. So I figured, why don't I find a shot of Rome to be able to pull this off and have a cool looking picture, and that's somebody's writing within this, Roman Remains. And that was out at the beginning of September of this year, and I will share with you a couple pieces toward the end of the book that relate, I believe, also to days of the month for you all. This first one is titled Dear Diary, and it was written on the 22nd of September on Dear Diary Day. Did you know that there was a thing called Dear Diary Day? Now you do. Okay. And I wrote something for it. It's called Dear Diary. Dear Diary, I haven't been able to share this with anyone else, so please let me explain what I went through, because I can't explain it to anyone else. Dear Diary, this has been the most phenomenal day of my life, and I don't think I can explain this to anybody, how this day has felt like perfection to me. Dear Diary, I've really been trying to make sense of the world after finding out that they died. I know they've been battling cancer, but their death kills me too. Dear Diary, I swear, when my boss opened my mail yesterday and took something of mine and then he laughed at me about it, that's when I knew I had to quit. Dear Diary, when I suggested we all go out, the one guy I like suggested a formal theme. Everyone backed out, so he let our date be our first date on Sweetest Day. Dear Diary, this job, day in and day out, is so mind-numbingly boring that I have to have some time like this to myself just to keep an ounce of sanity. Dear Diary, sometimes I need you, my sounding board, so I can recollect all I need to remember, just so I can piece all of my life together. Dear Diary, there is too much clutter in the world, and too much clutter in my mind. You're a diary, but I need you more than you could ever know. Dear Diary, for Dear Diary Day. And that was the first one. And here's a short one that actually has a Twitter-length poem that goes with it, because it's nice and short, and if I can pull them off, I'll have Instagram images. I don't know if I could be able to show it. No, you can't see it well, because it's really hard to see in this lighting, but you can go to the book online, and you can find a link to it if you'd like to see it. This is titled Evening Sea of Sacred Poetry, and it was written on the 24th of September on the 1812 birthday of Mary Ann Brown, British poet and writer of musical score. She died in 1845. So this is a short one from her. There is only so much we can do with what little time we have. I have only these fleeting moments to share the maturity of sacred poetry. So let me give unto you all I can, and let your heart sing with the love. And even after I go to the sunset tree, remember that the evening song leads my soul to this blue sea. Please take these gifts and think of me. Short piece. And I'll have another pair of them for you like that for the last pieces. This one is written on the 27th of September for Ancestor Appreciation Day. I had to go reading for every event I could find. This one's called Only Find Our Roots. It is one thing to say you can make it on your own, you're an independent person, that you don't need anybody. It is another thing to find a record of your grandfather who died before you were born, a man who fled 4 countries before entering the United States, who worked with the mob. It's another thing to find a copy of his birth certificate and discover that his middle name was Rommel. It is one thing to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and use your brain to get ahead in the world, all on your own, self-defiant you. It is another thing to discover that when the Astronomical Union decided to demote Pluto from his planethood, it's now just an ice ring in the sky named after your ancestor. It is another thing to now look up at the night sky and see how you are linked to everything. It is one thing to collect names from relatives, listing your families to your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, but really, it's just a list of names. It is another thing when a coworker asks your husband for his family tree, and they find out that his cousin was the EMT saving me minutes after I was almost killed. It is another thing to not only find our roots to our past, but to also see how we all are so interlocked in one giant family tree. That was a weird one to find that out, that a cousin of my husband's was one of the EMTs that found me after I had almost died. It was crazy. I mean, like months before. Crazy.
Wow.
Never mind. Anywho, another short one because I said it's going to be a short one, and I'll leave it at that. And it came with an Instagram image, and this is photography, actually, by John Yutko. Boop, boop, ba-doop. You can't really see it well, so I'm going to say you can just look at the poem Just a Little Crazy, which is linked in this book or at Scars Publications or whatever, and you can see it. This is a short piece called Just a Little Crazy and is based on information from Neil deGrasse Tyson from a tweet of his. If people get crazy during a full moon, it's only because the full moon is just so much brighter to us Earthlings. For the moon's surface reflectiveness, all rough, textured, causes the full moon to be 6 times brighter than a half moon. Is that why we love the moonlight so? And when the moon is full and we bask in that moonlight, why is it so wrong if we all just want to get a little crazy? Short one about the moon there for you guys, and that was your installment from Down in the Dirt magazine. Roman remains. Sorry, now I'm done. We're gonna